It's a historic day for GBM as we are live at the Eco Power Stadium to announce our first ever stadium show. I'm joined with the voice of boxing, Mr. Adam Smith, and the local legend, Dave Caldwell. Adam, set the scene for us. It's a historic day for GBM.
It's a really historic day for GBM. I'm delighted for Izzy and all the team that have worked so hard over the last few years to get to this point. Massive stadium show here in Doncaster. 12 years, I think, since McDonald won his world title here. But what a card. And the first GBM world title with Terry Harper, who I adore, former three-weight champion, of course, back in the Sky days, a brilliant advert for the sport, defending her world title against Natalie Zimmermann, unbeaten. And what a stacked card as well. Maxi Hughes and Archie Sharp stands out for me. Tysie, Gallagher, Ebonie Jones, Joe Flint on as well. It's just wonderful, isn't it, Dave? It's a fantastic moment, this, a stadium show for Izzy and GBM and DAZN.
I think, first of all, you've got to give props to GBM. You know, they've not been around long. They're a new outfit. They're taking a bull by the horns, and they're going with a stadium show with lots of local interest. You know, Terry Harper, she's a legend. You know, you're going to look at what she's achieved in the sport, and she keeps going from strength to strength. Sometimes she's written off, she bounces back. She's always in entertaining fights. You know, she is a legend in Doncaster. Maxi Hughes, the story of Maxi Hughes and what he's achieved in his career, and he's in a great, I'm like you, that's the fight for me that stands out on the card. I really can't wait for that fight. Archie Sharp, what a good fighter he is. You know, he's boxed at a good level. He's, you know, it's a real 50-50 pick and fight.
And Reese Mould on as well, who we all love Reese as well, and he's in a cracker too.
Reese Mould's in a cracking fight. When is Reese Mould not in a cracking fight?
No,
Lewis Sylvester, he's going to bring it. We know there's a bit of needle between them, which will be really exciting to see this.
Well, Reese is always exciting. I mean, his style is, you know, it just brings fans to their feet. You know, he's looking for bombs all the time. He's getting experience now. He's at that stage of his career now where even though in my head I still see him as a young kid, he's not. You know, he's experienced, and he's on that push now where he needs to, you know, he needs to come through this fight. But in Lewis Sylvester, he's got a real good opponent, a quality opponent. Again, it's another 50-50 matchup.
I was chatting to Izzy just a year ago or so, and we were talking about sort of the Cannon Medical Arena, good little arenas. Your Court obviously were there on April the 4th, but this is something really special, and I know he's dreamed of it. Mitch Casollo's dreamed of it, the whole team, and it's going to be reality. I think they're going to get 10,000 or so through into here in the Eco Power Stadium, and Doncaster are flying as well in League 2, so it's going to be a wonderful spring night. It really is.
And look, stadium shows always bring something extra. You know, I'm a Leeds man myself. Seeing Josh Warrington at Elland Road.
I want to speak about that.
These are the nights that make the memories for these fighters. And for Terry Harper, Dave, you mentioned it before. What a night this will be for her.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, she's had an amazing career, but to defend top of the bill in her hometown, outdoors, at the football stadium.
She deserves it, Dave.
Yeah, she does. Without a doubt, she does. But that's going to be a great. You know the ring walk when she's waiting in the tunnel, she's waiting to come out, and as she walks out, she steps out, and the crowd all start going off. Listen, I've experienced that with Bellew at Goodison. When you're at that point in your career, when you're walking out in front of your hometown at the football stadium, it's different to when you're in an arena. Listen, it's fantastic in an arena, always is, always will be, but it just takes it to another level when you're doing it outdoors with the football stadium. You know, that's where it crosses from boxing fans to mainstream when you're in a football stadium. This is a great stadium. It's a great opportunity for the fighters.
And they've had amateur shows here as well, but this is the big professional one, and I think everybody's going to get behind it, right? It's the end of May, Friday night. It'll be a fantastic start for the weekend, and I just hope people come out. I think we've seen the young kids around the area in Yorkshire. They're all motivated and inspired by what's happening. Doncaster, Leeds, Sheffield. You know, Yorkshire's delivering in terms of boxing at the moment, and there's some really good fights on this.
Absolutely, and if there's anyone who demonstrates that South Yorkshire grit and hard work, it is Terry Harper. You've known her since working in the fish and chip shop days. How much will this mean to her?
I have indeed. I know Terry, she sort of she was in love with boxing, then sort of fell out of it and then came back, and like Dave said a bit, she just won't be denied. She comes back a three-weight champion, and I remember in those early days when Katie Taylor had sort of come through as a pro, and Tasha Jonas and Savannah Marshall, and Terry was much one of those, had that great fight in the garden with Tasha in the Matchroom garden, and she's just been brilliant for the sport. She's still young, Terry Harper, and she was great last time out in that Cannon Medical Arena where we did that 2 nights, didn't we, with GBM one night, Matchroom the next, and now Matchroom have given us Terry Harper. It's a fantastic collaboration. It's wonderful to see, and yeah, I'm a big fan of hers because she's had some tough nights and she's come back, and that's a sign of a really, really good fighter.
And the pre-sale sign-up is now live. The show will be live on DAZN, of course, our broadcast partner. Dave, tell people how much this will mean to people in the local area, because Doncaster, South Yorkshire produces such a great crop of fighters.
Well, Adam just touched on it. You're talking about the kids in the area. There's so many good quality amateur boxing clubs. Sheffield, Doncaster, Leeds, like you mentioned. All that little catchment area there, we have a lot of talent and we have a lot of boxing fans in the youth. And they're all going to turn out for this. You know, going back to the stadium effect, you don't want to miss out because you feel it's a big event in your area, especially if it's your local town, Doncaster. Everyone's going to turn out. Nobody's going to want to miss it. And then when you look at who's on the card and the fights that are on the card, it's stacked all the way through. So you know everyone's going to be here for it.
We've all loved the big Sheffield shows, but Doncaster has also given us an absolute firecracker with this man here, Dave Colwell, one of his big wins against Terrace Gaskin, who was from Donny and brought the fans. That was a great night.
Yeah,
a few years back.
A few years back. Most people haven't been born here, as you pointed out. Thanks very much for that. But yeah, I defended my area title at Doncaster Dome, and yeah, it was a good night. I don't want to say, you know, it's one of my good nights, one of my few good nights, but I knocked him out, and it was a good win.
Absolutely. I think, Adam, you can slip in that fiver afterwards for mentioning that. Adam, we are going to ask you to go and start the press conference very shortly, and we're swapping you in for a man, Mr. Jamie McDonald, who has a lot of history with this.
I
know very well.
Lovely to see you, Jamie. How are you?
Good, thank
Great
you.
to see you too. Nice to see you, mate.
How are you? All right, cool.
Jamie, welcome.
How are we doing?
So we're here with Jamie McDonald. Dave, I'm going to let you take over for a minute. Talk to me about Jamie McDonald and the significance here.
Listen, he is one of the most underrated fighters that this country's produced. You know, he's a world champion on and off for 10 years, more or less. Going out to America, beating their next big superstar, not once, but twice. They said the first time was a fluke, came back, beat him again. Won everything domestically, everything on the world stage. You know, had a fantastic career. And the best thing is, this kid, you know what, where you tell fighters to study, you tell fighters to know the sport. This guy didn't know anybody. We was once at the gym and we were talking about Sugar Ray Leonard, talking about Mike Tyson. One day we're in the gym, lads are training, and he's shadowboxing and just went, "Hey Dave, I watched that Sugar Ray Leonard last night." I went, "Yeah." He went, "He wasn't bad, were he?" But that's how he had no fear. He didn't care about anybody else, did you?
I was saying when they come with a Dewey fight, and I come out to my brother, I said, "Oh, I'm fighting an hour Dewey," and our kid honestly when he went, "It's good in, bro." And I said, "Is it?" I panicked, and he went, "No, you can't beat though. No, you can't beat." But yeah, no, I don't. I had looked at a fighter to see what they look like. Literally, didn't watch it. My brother used to watch fights, yeah, and then it scares him more than he doesn't sleep. But I don't study him. I'll just look, see what they look like. So when I got press conference, I know it's in, and that was literally it. And you just graft, wait till you get it in. You know what I mean?
And 13 years ago, you were here at the stadium, the now Eco Power Stadium. What do you remember from that night?
I remember it was cold. Honestly, just always no end of round, yeah.
Do you remember you won?
I won, yeah.
Do you remember that?
I won that, yeah. But end it round, you get back, they put a towel on me, and literally after 10 seconds, I wanted to get fighting again because I was cold. But yeah, I was just on about it outside. You know, coming back in brings it all back. You know, it's good. Obviously, I ain't been around boxing for years. I never interested me or anything like that. But just coming back, get a little spin in your step. Seen Dave, I've seen you for a few years, never. Yeah, no, it's brilliant. But yeah, best night of my life winning that world title. Brilliant.
And for us to be putting on another world title fight here, how much will it mean to the Doncaster locals and everyone here? Because there's a full crop of Doncaster fighters here.
Like this time round, I think they're looking at 10,000. I think they'll fill it this time round. Obviously, it was 13 years ago. There were no Instagram. It was posters and leaflets and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
I remember those days.
I know you have to go put posters up in shops and stuff. So I think obviously with Instagram and social media, I think they'll fill it. And to be fair, no one would have thought we'd have had an open air event, a boxing event here again after mine. You know what I mean? So it's brilliant, and obviously I'll be down here supporting. It's brilliant for Doncaster.
Absolutely, and it's amazing to see your legacy live on today for the announcement for the show. And I'm going to throw over to to Adam Smith and Izzy, because they're ready to start the press conference.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can we hear me? Hello, hello. Wow, what a turnout! A fabulous, fabulous turnout. Great to see you all here at the Eco Power Stadium in Doncaster for a very, very special day. GBM have been going a few years now. I was lucky enough to get to know Izzy and Mitch and the team just over a year ago, and they had some dreams, and one of those was to have a big stadium show. And on Friday, May the 23rd, those dreams are becoming reality. And it's only the beginning of where GBM are going. But this is a massive day for GBM Sports. It's a huge announcement. We have a world title for the first time in GBM's short history. Look how quickly they have developed. It's brilliant news. And it's Terry Harper, a local legend in Doncaster, three-weight world champion, someone I'm extremely fond of and have worked very closely with over the years at Sky, and an absolute legend in the sport, defending her world title. We have a stacked show, fabulous fights, and all put together by Izzy Asif and his team. Izzy, I know personally this is a huge, huge moment for you.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, guys, I'd like to say thank you to our sponsors, Eco Power, Harvey Dental, Doncaster Football Club, who've been brilliant in this, and Bravos. Another one before we start, thank you, I've got to say, to Matchroom and Eddie. This was a great opportunity for Terry to bring her world titles back. They had other fights on the card, but they chose the legacy and the dream. Credit to Terry and Matchroom for allowing this happen in easy fashion. So it's great, and just appreciate what everybody's done for us. But personally, Adam, this is massive. This is absolutely huge. I personally told everybody, one day we're going to put a stadium fight on. One day we're going to have a world title. Did I really believe it? I half believed it, half were kind of trying at it. But, you know, dream coming to reality now for me. You hear a lot about fighters living the dream and a lot of boxers turning their life around. This is unbelievable achievement for me. From where I've come from and the background I've come from, this is unknown of. And Friday, 23rd of May, it's going to be a real special day for me, from family, the community around me. And I'm happy that fighters have made this happen, because 13 years ago, Jamie McDonald, is he somewhere around?
He is.
Jamie Mac?
Yes.
Jamie, I boxed on Jamie McDonald's undercard 13 years ago today on a Sky Sports show. And if anybody said to me, would you ever dream of you're going to be announcing a world title fight at Doncaster Football Stadium, I thought they'd be pulling my leg. But we've done it, we're here. Credit to the team who worked non-stop day and night. This has not been easy to put together. Doncaster Football Club will really make this easy for us, make it work for us, and we're here. We're part of a great event, a historic event. This is going to be one special night. This is going to be the kind of night people say, was you there? Where was you when this massive event happened at Doncaster? It's not just a show. This is an event. You know, we're expecting to do 10,000 tickets, if not more. This is going to be one of them nights like, where was you when Terry Harper brought a world title back to Doncaster Rovers Football Club, and the rest of the lads at cards, your Tysie, your Jimmy Joe, your Reese, your Maxi, the card goes on. It really is one of them special cards, and I'm just privileged and honoured that I'm the lead front of it, but there's been a lot of hard work gone behind the scenes.
I hope the cameras can see how many people we've got here. I'm just looking at Dave Allen, at Peter and Hughie Fury, Dave Colwell's here, Sonny Edwards, Jamie McDonald, Gavin McDonald, a great fighter from these parts. It's just fantastic.
Mark Daikisi, UFC star there as well.
There's so many. I see Taz Nadeem as well. He can punch a bit. I hope you getting him on the card? I hope so. It's just fantastic.
Before we start about the undercard,
community here.
I'm not committing to nobody on the undercard, because we've got about 25 fighters that want to be on. Listen, we'll try getting as many as we can on that. But it's a tough one. Everybody wants to be on this card.
Well, I'm not coming unless Ed Hardy and Taz the Butcher are on it, so they better be on it. Right, fantastic to see so many of you in the fight community. Let's get the fights underway. I want to start with Jimmy Joe down the end here, because you are Donny, born and bred. This is your patch, your neck of the woods. I think you're going to be bringing a few fans on the night. How excited are you about a stadium show on your doorstep?
Yeah, definitely. When I first sat down with Izzy and the team, you know, what I asked for was to be part of an homecoming and be part of title fights. He's delivered both on the first fight, so I can't ask for much more. You know, at Doncaster Rovers Football Stadium as well, I think I'll do very well on tickets. I've got a good following and can't wait to get things going.
I mean, you're obviously great form. The wins over Campbell Hatton, the double. Do you think you're coming into this at the right time to show DAZN and everyone here on the big stage what you can do?
Yeah, I've put the work in. No, it hasn't been easy getting to this point, and now me, I want to shine. I just want to keep going and see how far I can actually go.
Jimmy, good to have you on board. I know one thing with you, Jimmy, there's no easy fights, there's no boring fights, is there? You bring the action, you bring the drama. How much does it actually mean to get this over the line? Because we spoke and you hear a lot of conversation between promoter and fighters and things don't actually happen. We have delivered, and I'm sure you're going to deliver on fight night come Friday 23rd of May.
Yeah, it took a while with the opponents and whatnot, but we've got one over the line now. And like on fight night, he hits me. I'm going to hit him back. I'm not going back. I'm steam train forward, and that's just how it is. You're in for a barnstorm, and I'm looking forward to it.
Do you think? I mean, that's normally what we get from you. We get all exciting, all action fights, and on this sort of card, you're going to have to deliver that.
Yeah, like I said, when I'm landing them shots and the home crowd's cheering, I'm not going to take a step back. I'm going for it. I'm here to do the job.
Well, it takes two to tango, so let's bring him in. Haytham Lamuz down the other side of the table. I know you're with Bob Shannon and Latif Mohammed now. It's fantastic to have you over here from Malta. Big opportunity for you.
Yes, very much so, yes.
Excited about it?
Yeah, this is the biggest show I've ever been on, so loving every moment. I can't wait.
I mean, for those who haven't seen it, just tell us a little bit about your journey. I know you fought in Australia and in Italy, and you've got a very exciting style as well, which should blend for a good fight.
Oh, yeah. I won the Australian Championship, and I won the European Championship, also the Asian Championships. So I've been around the world fighting as the way fighter normally, and normally as the underdog or the upset what the result should be. I will end up winning.
Good to have you here. Tell me, what do you know about Jimmy Joe? How much have you seen him and what do you make of him?
Yeah, I've seen him against the Hatton fights. It's going to be an exciting fight as our styles is very compatible. We're going to be bringing a lot of action, and it's going to be very worth it for the viewers. Can't wait.
Jimmy, that's great, isn't it? Fighting talks what you want to hear.
Just meet me in the middle, innit?
I think that could happen in this fight, Adam. I really do. I think when we were matching Jimmy Joe, one of the things the team said were he's going to make it exciting, and I know that's going to happen. I think with 1,000 fans behind you at your home patch, I think it's going to be all action, non-stop Jimmy Joe, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yep, Jimmy Joe Flint and Haytham Lamuz, really excited about that one. And now it's the ladies' turn. This is a fight that's been brewing for a while. Our hearts went out to Tysie and your family after what happened in recent months, and we've all been thinking of you. Obviously, it's life's much more important than just boxing, but I know that you're keen and hungry to get back to doing what you do best. Ebonie Jones, fantastic opponent. We've watched her develop. Tysie, you've had a great year with GBM. You must be just pleased to get back to defending those titles and being on such a show.
Yeah, definitely. Firstly, I want to thank GBM for the support over the last couple of months. But, yeah, I can't wait to get back and defend my titles. And obviously, last time we was only 2 weeks out, and I was more than ready to get in the ring and do the business. But, yeah, a few weeks out, and then now we've got a solid 12-week camp, and yeah, I can't wait to go and put on a clinical performance.
I mean, you've got a great relationship with GBM, a good win over Stevie Levy, then Tori Ellis-Willits as well. What's this year for you looking like, Tysie? Ebonie Jones, obviously extremely
good fighter against you, former really good amateur, really good professional. Are you just looking at Ebonie at the moment, or are you thinking about possible world titles ahead?
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to overlook this fight and this next fight, and that's all I'm focusing on beating Ebonie. But, of course, world titles are on the horizon. Obviously, God willing, I come through on the 23rd of May. And, yeah, there's so much exciting fights out there to have, but I can't take my eyes off of Ebonie because, like you say, she's a good fighter, great fighter, and yeah, I've got to be fully focused and ready to beat her on the 23rd.
Tysie, good to have you back on. First of all, credit to Ebonie. When the fight got called off for last season, she stayed patient. Guys, please. She stayed patient. No, there were no like backlash, and we appreciate that, Ebonie, for you and your team for staying professional and true to yourself. Ebonie, this is the one. You wanted it. You called it. I, as a promoter, didn't actually want this fight. I think it's a bit of a tricky fight for you, Tysie. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think this is an extremely hard fight. And I'm having people tell me you put it in too early. Ebonie's at that little bit level above. But your team keep telling me you're world champion potential. You want to beat the best. You took this fight on. How confident? You must be seriously confident to push me out of the way and say you want this fight. Yeah, of course. Like, honestly, not taking anything away from Ebonie. She was a great amateur. But I've been building as a professional, and the professional game's so different. I've been building now last 3-4 years, being very, very active. I'm a 10-round fighter, and yeah, I'm full of confidence that I'm going to go in and win this fight. Like, amateurs and pros are very, very different, and yeah, you'll all see that it wasn't. I'm not jumping into a pond that I can't swim in. So yeah.
Yep, Tysie's got the experience, former world title challenger, those beautiful belts there, British and Commonwealth. Ebonie, let's come to you. Firstly, I echo what Izzy said about your patience. It must be hard for you as well, having trained so hard for that moment. Now you've got to do it all over again. But you seem happy, set up in the Steel City gym now. Everyone's saying it's been a great move for you, and this is your time to shine, isn't it?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I've had to learn to be patient. Over the past sort of year of cancelled fights, things like that, so it's sort of nothing new. This is why I need this fight to kickstart my career. It's really important for me, and thinking of the belts all the time, like, nothing means more to me than this. So, obviously, once I get this fight, like, I just feel like I'll be a kickstart to everything.
You're undefeated, but you are going up in levels.
Yeah.
Tysie rightly says about being a mature professional now, and she's had that experience. How are you going to bridge that gap on the night?
Yeah, definitely. I respect Tysie as a fighter. She has got more experience. Really, I'd say I'm the underdog. Yeah, amateurs, beat her twice in the amateurs. I don't take that as giving me any more confidence. I'm not complacent. I train hard, and I'm taking this fight very seriously. And you said you beat it twice in the amateurs. Surely you think that's giving you a little bit of edge, but you're calling yourself the undercard? No. Underdog? It's amateurs, like you're saying. I don't take that in any way, shape or form that gives me an advantage. Because I'm not complacent. Ebonie, how big is this fight for you in your career where you are right now? It's massive for me. I mean, I moved my whole life up to Sheffield. I've been here over 2 years now. Been lots of ups and downs since I turned pro. So I need this to be the start of everything for me.
Yeah, I remember you on the all-women's card that we had at the O2. You have waited patiently. Very good amateur. The Army days as well. You've got a great story. What is it about the Steel City gym? Sonny's here. Ed, obviously. Chantel. There's loads of activity now. Dalton, of course, leading the way. What have you learned? What have you got from that in the last couple of years? It's just nice to be at a gym. Everyone's like a family. You're around other people who want the same thing, other world champions. And, yeah, it's not just that. Like, I've got friends in the gym, and it is like a family. Yeah, I only live around the corner from the gym as well, so good. OK, let's have a last line from each of them. Haytham, let's start with you. What are we going to see on May the 23rd from you?
Firstly, I'd like to thank GBM Sports for this opportunity, my management team, World Boxing, and my coach is going to be Bob Shannon. What you're going to see is a lot of action. I'm coming here to win. This is the great opportunity, and I don't want to miss this. So,
any prediction? Any prediction on winning?
Well, I don't know. I'm going to say, but I'm going to win. I'm here to win. I'm not here just to show up. I'm here to win. All the hard work I've been doing all my life. This is the moment. This is the chance that's been given to me, and I'm going to make it count.
And we know, of course, that Bob worked with Ricky Hatton and the Campbell-Hatton link, and so there's lots going on in the story here. Jimmy, it's just down to business. You've got a load of fans coming. You're not going to let them down, are you? What's going to happen?
Flint win, clinical performance.
Clinical performance from Jimmy. Let's go to Ebonie. The big opportunity. What's going to happen?
Look, I'm not great at talking and being cocky, but you'll see on May 23rd.
Tysie, your response?
I'm just going to put on a clinical boxing performance. However, I win, but it's going to be I'm going to be very dominant, and yeah, them belts are coming back to Luton for sure.
Before we move on, is there a last line on these two specific fights that have been made?
As I told you, I wasn't just saying it. I didn't want Tysie to take this fight because I really think it's a risky fight. She's took it. Fair play to Tony Pilton, Tysie. You want it. Ebonie team's extremely confident. They're split in the boxing world. It's a real, genuine 50-50 fight, and one fight that could define their careers. Really, I feel like his winner goes on to fight for world titles. And Jimmy Joe, I can just promise you one thing, Adam. It's not going to be a backward fight. It's going to be come forward, exciting, non-stop. And in front of his home fans, I can see an explosive performance. He's going to want to steal the show. Jimmy Joe is going to want to steal the show May 23rd, and that excites me as a promoter. Music to my ear. We've got a cracking start to the bill, and I'm just looking forward to him.
I was chatting to Bob earlier. I know Haytham's going to be in terrific shape. Remember, he steered Wayne Rigby. I mean, what a fit fighter there was. So I'm sure Haytham will give Jimmy Joe a fantastic fight. Tysie Gallagher, Ebonie Jones, British and Commonwealth titles on the line. It's fantastic. We're going to do head-to-heads here. And if all fighters also stay behind through the press conferences, because we're going to get a big shot at the end and head out onto the pitch. It's that sort of a day. Let's enjoy it. Head-to-heads here. So it's Jimmy Joe Flint and Haytham Lamuz, and it is Tysie Gallagher and Ebonie Jones to kick us off.
What did you make of that, Dave?
Confident fighters. I think all fighters look to be relishing the challenges. You know, we've got 50-50 fights there. Tysie Gallagher and Ebonie Jones. I think that's a must-win fight for them both. To be fair, you know, Tysie, she's already got belts, but she classes herself as a world title contender. She feels that she's got the ability to step up that next bridge. Ebonie Jones got to get a career going. You know, she's been professional 4 years. She's had 6 fights, a lot of ups and downs, as she says. This is going to be an interesting fight.
Yeah, we can see he described himself as a steam train, Jimmy Joe Flint. And look at the eyes. We can see the eyes here of Haytham Lamuz. He looks very serious.
Yeah, and do you know what? He looks like he's got a baby face, but he's not. He's 35 years old. You know, he's very experienced. 20 wins, 2 losses, I think his record is. But 9 stoppages in those 20. So unless he punches harder than his record suggests, it's going to be about volume and work rate, I would imagine.
And I enjoy what Jimmy Joe was saying about how when he hears the roar of the home crowd after every punch, there's no way he's taking a back step. What do you think it means for him to be at the stage?
Oh, listen, it's incredible. He's a big ticket seller anyway, but he's a very proud fighter, and he's coming off the back of 2 fantastic wins. It's nice to see him get an opportunity now, get a deal, and get to defend his pride, his belt in his hometown. You know, it's going to be a great night for him. And if he's a big ticket seller already, on a stadium show, it's just going to go to another level.
Exactly, and the pre-sale is now live. You can sign up to buy tickets. The pre-sale will be going live on Friday. We've now got Tysie Gallagher and Ebonie Jones. We know they have history in the amateurs. Ebonie has 2 wins over her in the amateurs. But Dave, this isn't the amateurs.
No, it's a different game. It's a completely different ball game. You know, obviously the longer rounds, it gives you more time to show your quality. It's not just rushed. You know, like Ebonie's yet to record a stoppage on a record. This has got everything to say that it's going to be a tactical battle. You know, it's going to be smarts, it's going to be skills, it's going to be ability, and we're going to see it over the 10 rounds, I think.
And you can see Tysie's confidence grow in real time. We've watched her. Look at her now.
You have to look at the belts. When you start collecting straps like that, you just grow as a person, grow as a fighter, and the confidence just sort of exudes. And that's where she is right now. She feels she can take all comers on.
And I think the fighters that we've had so far, you look at Tysie Gallagher, Shaquille Thompson, all of them potential world title contenders. And we are joined here by a former world champion, Mr. Sonny Edwards. Sonny, great to have you down here at GBM. You've been with us since the very start, really. You've known Izzy on his journey. What have you made going from the relatively small hall shows to the Eco Power Stadium?
Do you know what? I always actually believed in the journey, in the process. Probably why I was always doubling down. You can ask Izzy. He's tried paying me for all the commentaries. Every time I just laugh at him and just run off, going to the nightclub. It was always more to try and make a big of a fight feel as I could possibly add to a very small part in the grand scheme of things. But really buzzing for Izzy, really buzzing for the whole GBM team, because I know a few of the lads and they've worked hard, they've been loyal, they've stuck there, they've grown and developed as a team, they've ironed out the nuances of boxing promoting. And okay, now this is a different test, and the team are going to have to be over on it to do, as you know, an arena, a Cannon Arena, a Sheffield Arena to a football stadium is a whole different deal. And I do genuinely believe in the organisation and professionalism of the whole team. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this fight. This card, by the way, is a genuine big platform card. Nothing else to be said about it.
And the reaction we've received this morning since releasing the poster has just been incredible. Bringing in Tysie Gallagher. Sonny, I'll let you introduce Tysie, because I know you are very good friends. Tysie's been a real star of the GBM stable. What do you see for Tysie in this fight?
I think it's a great fight, and obviously Ebonie I've known very well. We trained together for the last few years. Knowing from the amateurs, I was actually there ringside when Tysie and Ebonie boxed all them years ago in the ABAs. Tysie has come from strength to strength. I've watched and followed her journey. She went from being a game, tough, sit in the pocket and fight for as hard as long as possible, to now a genuine accomplished boxer. We've seen in the Stevie fight, we see at times in the Tory fight her actual class. I think if we see the Tysie that fought Stevie, and with that style of boxing and picking and using her footwork and her range and her speed advantages, because when she needs to fight she can, but I think Tysie's fight to win is the boxing fight, where Ebonie is very, very she's a good come forward pressure fighter. She's heavy handed, she's compact, and she's game as well. So I'm really looking forward. I think it's a fantastic clash of styles, but I think it will be very different from their fights in the amateurs, just because of the growth that Tysie has made over the last 3-4 years especially.
And Tysie, we do know there is history there with you and Ebonie, the victory she has over you in the amateurs. Are you a bit concerned that she didn't bring that up? Do you think she's saving it for later?
Nah, I'm not concerned, because amateurs is amateurs, and it was like the way I lost in the amateurs was very, very close. It wasn't like, oh, she battered me or she dominated me. It was very, very close fights, both of them. So it was like, you can't really bring that up, at 3 rounds, at 2-minute rounds. So yeah, fair play to her for not bringing it up, because it's just a complete different fight now, and I'm sure she would have seen as well. I don't box the same as 10 years ago, at all. It's from day and night. So yeah, I'm not surprised that she's not brought that one up. No.
And if anything, recently, maybe I'm in this as well, all the fighters that win in the amateurs losing the pros recently. I don't know. I see Tommy McCarthy was 4-0 against Stephen Ward the other night. You know what I mean?
I
it's a completely different sport. I agree. It's a completely different sport. I never really buy into the whole, he beat him as an amateur. It doesn't mean anything. There's so much growth in terms of ability, but also mentality as well. And you've got experience, championship experience in the professional game, which I feel is. I was just saying to you when you was doing the face-off, and when you was posing with the belts, you look comfortable with the belts. When you're collecting belts, each strap that you're collecting, you're just growing as a person, as a champion. Doubts start going away, because you know you're at that level, you know that you belong there. Whereas when you're coming up, you don't actually know. You don't get wrong, you're confident as a fighter, but you don't know until you're there. And when you do collect the belts, and you have numerous belts, it must just make you feel up there. How do you feel that it's changed you as a fighter, going in as challenger to now you're champion of multiple belts? How has that changed you as a fighter?
Massively. But naturally, I a few fights ago, I wasn't sitting there with so much confidence and like how I back myself and like no doubts in my mind, and that's just naturally happened because of the results and the work I've been putting in. So and it feels it's so much better. Like I'd be sitting up there nervous in press conferences or grabbing the mic talking about but now it's like this is what I do. This is where I belong. So it's I feel a lot more comfortable doing it. So, yeah.
And even if we do go back, what was it, about 18 months, 2 years, when you did challenge for the world title, the common consensus was that Tysie won that fight. I saw reports from French media that was saying controversial decision. It was, you know, we could be standing next to a world champion of the last 2 years, and she probably could have had very similar fights to what she had and won. This could even be for a world title rather than the titles that it is for. So I think Tysie's in a fantastic place. I think her confidence is through the roof. I think she knows what she needs to do, but she knows that she's also up against it because Ebonie has never been a slouch. Ebonie was the star-studded female boxer my whole amateur career coming up. We was about the same age range, maybe she's a year younger or 2 years younger, but she was one of those 5, 6, 7, 8 times national champions, boxed for England, boxed for GB, represented the army. She was like the star-studded prospect where Tysie was always playing catch-up, and now the ball's in the other court, so it'll be interesting for both fighters to see how it goes.
So, you know, as in how you've changed as a fighter, have you seen any of Ebonie's fights recently, and how do you see that she's adapted from that amateur fight that you both had to how she is now and what she might bring to the fight on fight night?
She's still got a very similar style, more of a come forward, aggressive, lunging in, but you can see over the last couple of fights probably where she has been at Steel City, where she's slowing it down a bit and she's starting to box, being a little bit more clever with it, but she's still very, very similar to when we boxed. Yeah, I've got the videos of when we boxed, and when I compare, it is still very similar. So I feel like it's not going to be a massive shocker to me. I know what she's going to bring, and I know what she's good at, and it's about taking that away from her and me just focusing on boxing and doing what I need to do.
Absolutely, we are in for a firecracker in that fight, but I'm going to throw back to Izzy and Adam.
Okay, thanks Alex, Sonny, Dave, Tysie, what a great team up there. Live on DAZN, of course. This just feels like a massive, massive show. I've been lucky enough to be around the Yorkshire area for a long time through my career, and the turnout, again, I'm going to mention it. It's fabulous to see you all here. Wonderful ahead of this enormous card on May the 23rd. Friday night. There's certainly some real sunshine. I'm sure we'll get it here in Yorkshire. And we've got the Donny lads up now. It didn't take long. Jimmy Joe, I think, will sell a huge amount. As for Reese, Mould and Maxi Hughes. But these fights up here are fabulous. They really are. 50-50, 55-45 type of fights. It's exactly what GBM and Izzy Asif has stood for from the very beginning. And this is what is being delivered. Love the matchup between Reese Mould and Lewis Sylvester. Both really good fighters. Both need a big win on this stage. And as for this one, Maxi Hughes and Archie Sharp. I was with Archie in Bournemouth on Saturday night. We've had Maxi on GBM shows. He's gone away. He keeps winning, keeps beating unbelievable opposition. The Indian summer that just keeps giving. I'm going to start with the boys down the far end in a second. But I just want Izzy to speak about the Donny lads. We've had Jimmy Joe up. Obviously, we're going to get Terry later and what she's done for the area. But Reese and Maxi, they just live a few minutes away. For them, it's a special treat, this.
Of course, it's really important when you put events like this on. You get the guys locally who are going to sell well, who are going to bring that traction. So this is a massive night. For every single one of them on this card, this is life-turning opportunities in front of the home fans. And there's that extra added pressure when you're at home, but also could bring the best out of you. And I believe you're going to see the best out of these lads. They're both in really tough fights, and that's not just promoting it. I generally think Reese has got to be on top form to beat Lewis Sylvester, and Maxi's got to be on his game. If not, Archie Sharp takes that belt away down south. So great to have them on, great to have local fighters on, and guys who are going to really bring that tension to the game.
And it's one thing making a statement with a stadium show, but it's about filling it with fights that the fans want.
Yeah. Of course, when you make it matchmaking as a promoter, you've got to think, right, am I excited about seeing these fights? That's the way I promote. I look at Lewis Sylvester, Reese Mould, I think, do I generally know who's going to win? No. Do I want to watch the fight? Yes. So if I want to watch it as a boxing fan, guys out there want to watch it. And that's how we do our matchmaking. And these are genuinely exciting fans. And I called it. I put my neck on the line. I reckon we're going to do over 10,000 tickets. I think we've probably done about 2,000 this morning just on my phone. So we're expecting a massive, historic night. And it's not just a boxing event. It's a night. It's a historic event. There's never been an event like this in Doncaster or go as far as Yorkshire before. This is a real special night, and it's going to, I kept saying again and again, you're going to say, who was there when Terry Harper boxed? Who was there when Maxi, Hughes, Reese, Mould, Jimmy Joe, Tysie, Gallagher, Ebonie Jones, Archie Sharp, Lewis? Who was there? What were you doing that night? And it's been one of them nights, and I'm excited.
I'm really excited. 2 Musketeers, 2 of the 3. No Josh Warrington today. I think he's on dad duties. See the Mould family, lovely Mould family over there. Nice to see you. Reese, you've become a real friend, really, of GBM's. You've had your ups and downs of late. How important is it to get this sort of fight, really good fight, on a really great stage?
Yeah, first of all, I'd obviously like to thank GBM for getting this, and especially someone who sat back there. He'd probably rather not me mention his name, but yeah, I'm back here, and what a massive fight this is for me. And I think if you'd asked me 20 years ago when I first started boxing, you're going to fight on a card like this in your own city's football ground, probably sold out, I'd have laughed at you. But here we are, and 12 week out.
We've had some great nights at Doncaster Dome, of course. We remember when Jamie won the world title here. But, yeah, absolutely, to have it on your doorstep. But not just that, sort of walking out to the Eco Power Stadium, that ring walk on the night, thousands of fans. I mean, it's memory stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, memories. I mean, obviously I've got memories for when I went over to Ireland and fought out in sold-out arenas and stuff. But this is going to top my career off, and I'm excited. I'm actually sat here excited about a fight. Genuinely, really excited about this fight.
Reese, you know, when obviously we're talking about you recently lost on a GBM card, you could have took an easy route. This is a tough fight. We have got to see the real Reese Mould here. If not, you get beat. You do understand the pressure that brings.
Listen, I've come here. I'm in shape already. When do I come in? You can see my cheekbones. It's not happening.
And this fight, correct me if I'm wrong, was talked about for a few years, hasn't it? It's been on the horizon.
Yeah, I mean, we first got ordered to fight for the English title when I had the English title, but at the time I was also world ranked number 12 at WBA when there were talks of big fights there, and that's how I give him a title up. Lewis went on to win the title. And this is boxing, this is what happened. I slipped up towards the end of that year, and Lewis has actually fought on my undercards and stuff like that, and we're here. And we're going to put it all online, and we're going to put a great fight on for him.
How good do you think Lewis Sylvester is, and how exciting a fight do you think it could be?
Listen, Lewis is a great fighter. I'm not one to go around and telling so-and-so over there that is a load of rubbish. I'm not like one of his trainers who I'm not seeing here today, who's been going around my mates telling me that he's going to retire me, he's going to do this to me, but I can't see him here today. And Lewis is a great fighter, and he's going to cause me a few problems in there, but I'm 120 fights into my career now, professional and amateur, and won national titles as well as professional titles. It's not as if I've not dealt with someone who brings what Lewis does. And I'm going to show what I'm all about.
So, Lewis, what do you bring to the party on May the 23rd? A fight that's been talked about, as Reese said, for a long time. So you've waited patiently, and here it is.
Yeah, firstly, just want to thank GBM for getting me on this card. It's even though I'm not from Doncaster, I've certainly earned my keep in Doncaster. I've stayed here for a few camps now. I've lived here. I've lived with my managers, my manager Steffi Ball, and it's part of my memories now living here. But yeah, no, Reese is a great fight. I ain't overlooking him at all. I'm going to be training for the best Reese Mould that can be. He's very good, very strong. Like I say, it should have happened early last year, but it didn't. Obviously, Reese was up there to fight bigger opponents and more opportunities, but now we're here. Now we're going to fight for the IBO title.
You say bigger opponents. You've got a great record. You bring a lot to the table here, though.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think we're pretty similar in who we've boxed and who we've been beat by. Like his defeats are to top opponents, and same with me. So it's going to be a cracking fight.
Yeah, Lewis, I've known about this fight for a while. I've known about yourself, your career. I was there ringside when you lost, unfortunately, to Sam Noakes, and I know the levels you bring. I think this could steal the show with the fights. There's not much in it. It's a massive night for Reese. He's got the pressure on. Do you think having that home advantage could be a disadvantage this time because he's got the pressure in front of his fans, and you're obviously travelling not far away from Hull, and it'll bring a strong crowd as well?
I don't think there's added pressure with having your home crowd here. Like when you're fighting from home, obviously it only riles you up even more, and you want to do better in front of your home crowd. So, like I say, I'm going to prepare for the best Reese Mould there is, and whatever he brings, I'm going to be ready for.
Would you say it's fair me calling it 50-50, or would you say it's 60-40 either way?
I would say this is a 50-50 fight, without a doubt. Reese he's probably got more experience. Like you said, I boxed on his undercard coming up. I think my second pro fight was when he boxed for his first English title, I believe, when he knocked... I can't remember who it was, but...
Sean Davis.
Yeah. So obviously I was watching Reese and I was thinking, that's where I want to be, up there on top of the bill and what have you. And now we're not top of the bill, but we sat on the top table and it's going to be a cracking fight.
Lewis, you're very much on the top table. Ambition-wise, what do you see this? You see this as a real opportunity, I guess, live on DAZN, on the massive show to sort of try and steal it and then propel your career to new heights?
Yeah, of course. After the Noakes fight, me and the team sat down and we was planning on moving back to Super Feather. So that's what we did. We got ranked at Super Feather, but then this opportunity came to fight for a title, and why would I let it slip? So we've gone back up to lightweight, took the fight. I'm only here for hard fights. I'm not here for easy fights. There's no point in fighting these journeymen all the time. I've been there. I boxed Sam Noakes. I boxed the best lightweight in the division at the minute. So. Yeah, I'm going to be ready for it.
Not box me, son.
I thought that might come in, actually. Fantastic what we want, though, isn't it? These hard fights.
That's exactly what we want as a promoter. The fans want it, the zone want it. It's music to me. Reese, question for you. Do you think it's a 50-50 or a 60-40?
Yeah, listen, obviously I've boxed on bigger platforms and stuff as Lewis, but after what happened last year, it is genuinely a 50-50, and that's why I'm so excited about it. And the winner pushes on, the loser don't, and I'm excited.
Let's bring in your stablemate, your very good friend, number one lightweight, Maxi Hughes. Great to see you. You're just the gift that keeps on giving, aren't you, for us, for all of us fight fans?
I just want to have a word with my wife there. Did you hear that, Soph? Yeah, I've done all right, Anna. Firstly, again, thanks to everyone for turning out. Proud to be from Doncaster and be here in front of everyone in my own town. Well, we're a city now, actually. We've got city status, but I keep doing all right. You know, it's my birthday tomorrow. 21 years old tomorrow, so I think, you know, one day I might do something in this boxing game. So, yeah, I'm glad to be a part of this. Again, thanks to GBM and the Eco Power Group for letting me be a part of this. You know, we spoke a bit earlier this year and we maybe thought about having a keep busy fight on this bill. But then when I thought about it, I thought, what? You know, at my age, I don't want no keep busy fights. I want to, you know, we all know how that last keep busy fight nearly went. So I need that fire, and Archie gives me that fire to box in my own town. You know, the village I am from is 5 minutes away, so this can be packed with people who I grew up with, or watching, supporting me in a championship contest.
Did you ever think you were going to get this opportunity, obviously watching Jamie all those years ago, to fight here in the stadium?
I remember being here, obviously 12 years ago, and to say it was me, I had my big coat on, it was freezing, but, you know, watching it and watching Jamie lift that world title, I thought, yeah, it'd be all right to do this one day. And, you know, about 13 years later, I'm here. You know, forget about the time, and it is just really nice to be a part of a card like this. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get better weather.
Yeah, Maxi's brilliant to have you back on. You're easy to work with. Obviously, I want to put big fights on, and one of the reasons we continue to work is you want the big fights.
Yeah.
And I'm not just sitting here to tell people in the game, no, we've tried making all the top lightweights in the country. For whatever reason, didn't happen. Archie Sharp, fortunate enough, we're off. Unfortunate for Liam Dillon, but you come off the card that you were meant to box on yesterday, and he come available. And he's a top 7, you know, opponent in the country. He's a seriously level the opponent. If you don't turn up, Maxi, you'll get beat. You do understand that, don't you?
Absolutely, and like we spoke, we tried putting it out there to a few opponents. You know, not mentioning them. They didn't want it. So credit to Archie. You know, it happened maybe over a day or two where the deal were done. He says, "Yeah, I'll have a bit of that. I'll come up to Maxi's hometown." So respect to Archie for that. No messing about. He's turned up here as well today. So, you know, that's the kind of opponent that gives me that fire, because I'm sure I give him that fire, which is what's going to make for a big fight, which, you know, this is the business we're in. You know, all these people want to see us punch each other's heads in.
And well, what Maxi's saying about just want a journeyman, I know that was important for you. It's a legacy thing as well. You didn't want to just fight a Doncaster football club with an opponent that you're going to beat comfortably.
Exactly. I couldn't go home and say, "Oh, come and watch me. I've got to sell all these tickets." And like, "Oh, you're boxing." I say, "Oh, you know, so and so I'm going to move around with." They don't want to see that. You know, I'm nearly 40 fights in as a professional, so they want to see me in fights like this. You know, progressing my career. And there's a part of me as well, my own hunger. I might not get that handpick out of a hat to go on these big bills. So we're going to earn our shot. You know, we've spoke about it. We're going to earn our spot where we can't be ignored for them big fights.
Izzy, you kept this very, very quiet, because I was down in Bournemouth hoping that Archie Sharp might fight Liam Dillon, and then that's not happening, and we get an even bigger fight here against Maxi Hughes. Archie, great to see you some 48 hours later or so. What a chance for you to gate crash the scene here.
Yeah, start off by saying thanks to GBM for having me on. Like you say, I was supposed to be boxing on Saturday just gone against Liam Dillon, but unfortunately I felt ill, so we had to withdraw from the fight. And then I think it was Thursday or Friday, I got the phone call saying, "Would you want to box Maxi Hughes?" And I said straight away, yeah, 100%. I'm a big fan of Maxi. I watched him nearly all of his career and supported him. You know, I thought he beat Kambosos, and he's got a great boxing record. He beat some good fighters. I need these fights to kind of get the best Archie Sharp. I stayed at 130 too long, and unfortunately things happened. But now we move on at 135. I feel good for it, and I'm straight into a big fight.
I was just going to ask you that, because of course I'm undefeated until the Ryan Garner fight. Garner with that phenomenal performance on Saturday night, but you needed to move up, so you're going to feel stronger and better at lightweight.
Yeah, I think I just stayed there because I was #1 in the WBO for 2 years, and it's just like dangling a carrot, thinking every fight you get, this can happen now, it's going to happen, but it never. So unfortunately it went the other way. So we made that decision, and this fight come about, and I know that all the, like I say, don't want to say no names, but I know many lightweights avoiding Maxi. But I won't be doing that, and this is the fight that I need.
Yeah, Archie, credit to your team, made it work really quickly. We actually did this deal within 12 hours. So from the first phone call to agreeing it, contract signed, sealed, him on his train off to Doncaster, ready for Doncaster. So credit to you. Archie, I want to ask you a question. Are you out your depth with Maxi Hughes, or do you genuinely believe you're there to beat him?
Look, I've always believed I'm at world level, you know, and I was #1 in the WBO. My name was chucked around with Shakur Stevenson, Navarrete, Valdez, all them fights, and it never come off. I've done a lot in the amateurs. I know amateurs and pros are different, but I beat some elite fighters. And to do that, I need to be against elite fighters, and Maxi is one of them. So you'll see the best Archie Sharp, and it's my time to shine, I believe, and especially coming off of the last fight, I need to make it clear that I did overstay 130, and this is the real Archie Sharp at 135.
The sharpshooter's won 25 of 26. I think Maxi's won 28 maybe now. I mean, it's a great fight, is he, this?
Yeah, another one. Generally, I know people think I'm just trying to promote my shows. I'm not. This generally could go either way. People said this is a tough one for Maxi. He's got to turn up. Archie Sharp, this is your kind of comeback fight from the defeat. I know that hurt you, and I spoke to your team, and you want to revive yourself, and this is an opportunity to really put yourself with the world elites, top lightweights in the world. And Maxi uses a tough one, but listen, who turns up on the night? Who's going to fold on the pressure? Who's going to handle the stadium? What they're going to perform like with 10,000 people watching them live on DAZN, chief support to a world title fight. This is show minerals. This is show what levels you are. Maxi keeps saying he's the best lightweight. Archie wants to be a world champion. This fight will show who's at what levels.
I think they've all shown some minerals to sign the contracts. Let's get a last word from each of them. Lewis, what are we going to be treated to on May the 23rd from your fists?
You're going to see a fight that's going to steal the show.
No question. No. Brilliant. Reese?
How about that?
You're back that. Fight of the night. We look forward to that.
I'm going to put my neck online. I called this one before. I reckon this could be the fight of the night.
Okay, I'll go with, I think this one's going to be fight of the night. Archie Sharp, what are you going to give us?
I think this is boxing at its best, you know, like this is going to be boxing IQs to the top level.
Maxi?
Yeah, vintage Maxi Hughes.
Vintage Maxi Hughes. We've seen a bit of that lately, and we've seen how good Archie Sharp is. Lewis Sylvester, Reese Mould, Maxi Hughes, Archie Sharp. Fabulous fighters, putting it all on the line. They're going to pose for pictures. Please, everyone else, all the other fighters on the bill, please stay behind. We have pictures on the pitch later as well. But these four are going to give us some head-to-heads. Don't miss these fights.
Well done, guys.
I enjoyed that one, Dave. Maxi Hughes is always great value.
It certainly is, and you know that I was just looking at that table then. Every one of those fighters that are up there are here to win. There's nobody here to come and give it a go. Everybody's here to win. There really are genuine 50-50 fights.
And this is a good local rivalry. I know someone from Lewis Sylvester's team said they were going to retire Reese Mould. That adds something to the fight.
Yeah, whenever somebody says something like that, the fighter on the receiving end, they never take kindly from an opposition team member or an opponent themselves, you know, basically telling them that they're going to make them retire. It's not, you know, it's not a nice thing to say, but you get it, but it does add that steel and that needle into it. But you've got two quality fighters here, and, you know, no quarter's going to be given in this fight. We know what Reese Mould's about. Lewis Sylvester, he's come here to upset the apple cart. He's a good fighter himself, got a great looking record. We're going to have a great fight here.
And there's a lot on the line for Reese Mould, isn't there?
Yeah, because he's at that stage now in his career. He's not a young kid anymore. You know, he's at that stage now where he's going into... I'm not saying it's not the final chapter, but it's coming towards the final chapter of his career. Maybe, you know, one more run at it, or, you know, if he wants to, then a couple, 2 runs, that's it. But he's at that stage now, so you can't afford any slip-ups. And, you know, it's a local fight. It's, you know, for all intents and purposes, Lewis has been based in Doncaster himself. It's basically a local derby.
And this one, Maxi Hughes and Archie Sharp, that would headline shows anywhere in the country. This is a great fight.
Mate, this is the one for me. I'm really looking forward to this fight. You've got Archie Sharp, who's been around, and his name, like I said, his name's been mentioned for a long time with the upper echelons of the sport at super featherweight. Now he's got a fantastic looking record, but the experience and quality of opposition lies with Maxi Hughes. He may have got losses on his record, but his calibre of opponents is far, far greater. This is a really good matchup because with Maxi, you're also talking with that experience is the age as well. You know, and everybody will tell you in boxing, you can get old overnight. I'm not saying he's going to, you know, but this is a great, great fight, and it has all those permutations.
And Archie said it was going to be a real battle of boxing IQ. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, because the two clever fighters. You know, Archie's not reckless. Maxi's certainly not reckless. So I do believe that it's going to be intelligence and boxing smarts.
And I believe we are being joined by both Maxi Hughes and the reason, Dave, the reason why we're not stood on the stage right now is because Dave Allen has joined us.
Yeah, it's certainly not to me. I volunteered, I said I'll stand up here, it's no problem.
Maxi, we enjoyed that one. You're always great value. Are we going to see vintage Maxi Hughes?
Yeah, you know, the last time I was on a GBM card, I let it go a little bit too close to comfort for my own liking. But when I've assessed it, you know, I don't know if I had that same fire, you know. It was a lovely lad, and I felt absolutely horrible what I did to him. Because I didn't have that fire, you know, and I actually didn't know if I was going to get paid any money for that fight. Took it thinking I need a fight to keep busy. Luckily, Ludabella gave me a few quid, but that fire wasn't there, and you saw me in a couple of weeks after against Gary Cully to win this. That fire were there. It was a little bit personal, and that fire were there, and that's what you saw in me. That performance comes out, and this fight is similar, although there's no personal malice towards Archie Sharp. Just the level that he's been at, and obviously him coming up to my hometown to take this and everything that I've worked for, that's enough to give me that fire to think, yeah, I'm going to perform.
And Dave, it's a local show in Doncaster, but it's so much more than that, a stadium show. How much does that mean to all the fighters who are from this area?
Yeah, it's massive. I'm a bit gutted. I can't say when I'm boxing, it's going to be announced this week, but I've got a big fight down south, otherwise I'd be on here, you know. It's amazing, really. The cracking card as well. Maxi leading the way, I think he's the best active fighter from Doncaster. I might make the top 10, but he's probably number 1, to be fair. So yeah, some cracking fights on Maxi and Sharp is a fantastic fight, to be honest. And, you know, Reese and Sylvester, it makes it even bigger for us because we're from here, we know them more personally, so it's an amazing card, yeah.
And Maxi, seeing that belt on your shoulder, is that what gives you the extra hunger? You want to keep that?
Yeah, you know, seeing Josh Padley, fair play, he's changed his life.
Yeah.
Now, we tried to get him on this bill. It'd have meant for a great fight, but fair play to him, he's changed his life financially. And I may not get that picked to change my life, so the way I put it, belts like this, keep winning, and I'm going to get in position where I can't be ignored. The top guys are going to have to fight me.
I think with what you've done recently and the opponents that you've beat and should have beaten and didn't get a decision, I think your name's now gone onto a world stage.
Yeah.
He's come out of domestic. He's been a great domestic fighter for quite a long time, but now people on the world scene, Lou DiBella, Americans out in America, they know who Maxi Hughes is. So all he's got to do is keep winning, like he says. And in Archie Sharp, you're not fighting just a pumpkin that's coming for a win.
Yeah.
You know, the atmosphere is going to be incredible. So that's going to make the fight look great visually on TV for those that are in America watching it. And the opponent, look at his record. You look at his standing in the rankings and things like that. So you put a performance in that, then again, that's just going to solidify your claims to get a real real money, real world title opportunity.
Absolutely. We sort of, we sat down with GBM and we're like, who do you want to fight? I said, well, I need somebody who's going to give me that fire. You know, it went out to a few people, but Archie jumped at the chance. And like I say, I know he's moving up to lightweight, but he was number 1 with the WBO. You know, he's mixing in them circles with Shakur, Navarrete. Talked about and in negotiation with them, so it's like, you know, he's been up there himself, so he's probably left feeling, I've still got to prove myself, which that's what we want, you know, that's what the fans want, and that's what I need as a fighter, someone who's going to come and get me like that, which is going to bring the best out of me.
Do you know, as a fighter, prior to like Cambosis and people like that, prior to that and then after the levels you've been boxing at and the pulley win, how do you find that your mentality has changed? And in terms of how you view yourself, and in terms of how you view fights and oppositions now.
Well, when I was working with you, Dave, over 10 years ago, I think it was, but I never quite believed in myself. Whereas it's the opposite now. I don't overhype myself, but so confident in my own ability. Just from what I've gone and done, you know, gone over to America a couple of times in Monaco and been the underdog a lot and come out on top. So that, you know, obviously that gives me massive confidence. And now I view other fighters, I used to put them on pedestals, whereas now I see them as either equal or below me. And I need that, and that's how I operate. And I think that's what's allowed me to keep operating. You know, like I said, I'm 35 tomorrow. I don't feel like I look it or perform like I'm a 35-year-old.
And without making Dave too envious, I want you both to try and picture and let the audience know what is the atmosphere going to be like in Doncaster Stadium on Friday the 23rd of May.
I was meant to box here 12 years ago when Jamie Mack boxed. I was in a 4-rounder and it fell through the day before. And then I went and put a good performance against Johnny Fisher and missed this. So it's a shame really. And while we're here, this man actually was my first ever open spar when I was 16.
Can you believe we were at the same weight?
Yeah. I was 13.5 stone, and Ken Blood at Donny Plant said, spar these lads. It was him and Jason Cunningham. That was my first ever open spar, So all that time later.
How did it go?
Not very well for me, too bad. There was only about 8 stone, but they beat me up, so yeah.
That's great, Maxi. And we are going to throw over to the main table again, because we're coming to the press conference for the main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a bit of quiet, please. Just a quick announcement before we start the main part of the press conference. If all fighters can please stay behind. And it's sort of like herding cattle with fighters. We love you, but please stay behind. Don't run off. Nip away. Start training. Keep here because we've got some photos on the pitch, and there is apparently a penalty shootout competition that's being organised, so you can try your football skills out. I know Terry can play. I'm sure one or two of you can play. So please stick around for lots of pictures on this momentous occasion. It gives me great pleasure to announce GBM's first ever world title fight. And it is brilliant to have Terry Harper back doing what she does best. A 3-weight champion, a legend of the sport, will be defending her WBO lightweight title. I forget how many weights she's won. It's incredible, but I think this is the WBO lightweight clash against the undefeated Natalie Zimmermann. Natalie, thank you for coming over from Hamburg in Germany. Fantastic to have you here with us today. I'm going to start with Izzy because he told me about 14 months ago that he's going to put a world title on in 2025, and I honestly wasn't quite sure, but he has delivered. So well done, Izzy, and it must be a great moment for you.
Yeah, it's a massive day for me. I keep saying as a team, can you keep it quiet, please, guys, because it does echo quite a lot. Thank you. Yeah, it's a massive day, huge day. We're just kind of reminiscing 3 years ago. We were doing shows, we were putting chairs out ourselves, we were putting stickers on the chairs, we were hanging up frames. And if you told me within 3 years you're going to be putting a massive world title fight on in Doncaster Football Stadium, we're potentially doing over 10,000 tickets. Even me, as much as I am optimistic and I can want to do well, I would have thought, nah, somebody's pulling my leg, but we're here. Unfortunately, we've got a great world champion in Terry Harper, somebody I've watched for a long time on the Sky platform and the Matchroom, and I say again, Eddie Hearns and Matchroom were brilliant to work with. They had a conversation within a few hours. It was, yes, Terry wants to live a dream. Terry wants to be on this card. She had opportunities for big paydays against other opponents. We don't want to give them a platform if you don't want Terry, but you know the figures we were talking. I got aware of these figures and I was like, Terry, if you want to be on this card, we'll love to put this on. And we were here.
Before I bring Terry in, just talk us about the collaboration, because we've seen, obviously, Frank and Eddie and Ben and everyone working together under the sort of Saudi frame with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. But now on DAZN, big deal for GBM. Very important to have this. Eddie was at the fight, I remember, when the night before Terry defended her title. So, you know, it's important, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the dynamics of boxing has changed. Dynamics have changed, and DAZN have played a big part in that. We're all under the same umbrella, DAZN, that's Queensberry, Matchroom and ourselves. And you know, we're kind of obliged to work together. But I think it's great for boxing, it's great for fans, it's great for fighters. It's good, it makes the fights happen a lot easier. And working with Matchroom in this particular occasion were extremely easy. Really was, Adam. There was no hesitancy. They understand what the fighters want. They understand the opportunity, the magnitude of opportunity this is for Terry Harper. Even though she's won the world title, she's boxed for many, many years winning, this is something special. This is going to be an occasion that could mark the legacy of Terry Harper in her home fans. Fans who've travelled all over the world watching you, the opportunity to come and support Terry Harper on home patch. And yeah, boxing's at a great place at the moment. Promoters working across channels, broadcasters working. You see Sky and DAZN putting shows on together. And with signing the DAZN deal, made it very easy. And one of the things that we spoke about was working closely with other DAZN promoters. That's your Matchroom, your Queensberry, working closely. And this is going to be the start of, I believe, many fights and collaborations we do with them. So a credit to Matchroom and Eddie and Frank Smith in particular, who made this happen very easily.
Yeah, great guys at Matchroom. Amazing opportunity for Natalie Zimmermann. Natalie, we'll come to you in a second, but I want to start with Terry because I know how important a night this is for you on May the 23rd. I know you were stuck in traffic on the way down over. You're on the doorstep. Of all the fights and all the nights, where's this going to rank in sort of preparation and walking out onto the pitch here?
Yeah, I think for me this is going to be the best fight of my career, just for the whole experience. I've been in boxing for a long time now, just speaking with you, Adam. It seems like I've blinked my eyes and here we are. But again, as I was saying, it's the people at Doncaster have been with me from the start of my career, through the highs and the lows, and it's going to be a very special night, being able to put on my first defence of the world title and do it in front of the home crowd. So I'm very excited for that, and grateful to everyone who's behind the scenes who've managed to pull a few strings and get it over the line and put on a great night for the Doncaster people.
Well said, Terry. Well, it's great coming up here. There's a real community, and we've been around some of the amateur clubs as well. What's special about Donny?
the fighters. As you can see, the undercard is amazing, and I was just saying to Jen, I wish I was a boxing fan being able to watch the show from the crowd, but unfortunately I'll be in the changing room and I've got a job to do that night. But yeah, it's a very amazing and special night for people at Doncaster and the Doncaster fighters, and it's one that you shouldn't miss out on.
Terry, obviously a big occasion for you, massive. You're not going to let the occasion get to you this time?
No, I've been in the game long enough now, and I've experienced many things, and this is just all part of it. And I'll try not to think too much of it until after the fight. And I've got a job to do on May 23rd, and for me that'll then open up many doors and bigger fights. And for me as a fighter now, I've been a 3-weight world champion. I want to go on to become a unified world champion and chase the other girls down in this weight division. So fully focused on the fight and the job I've got to do, but yeah, I'm excited for the opportunities to come.
You need to be fully focused because you've got an undefeated lady who's coming from Germany, Natalie Zimmermann. Natalie, a pleasure to see you, challenging for the world title. How much does it mean to you, I guess, this opportunity to try and get your hands on that beautiful belt there?
First of all, I want to say to everybody, thank you for coming here, thank you for choosing me, thank you for GBM. At the first day of my boxing career, my wish was a main event live of the zone. And now, at the beginning of your speech, you told us dreams come true, and that is what I can say, dreams come true. I really enjoyed to be here. It's a great honor for me.
That's wonderful to say, and I'm glad that's happening. Just tell us a little bit about your background. I think you're a kickboxer and you're an undefeated professional. What you'll bring to the table on the night?
I say to myself, I'm just a fighter, you know. I'm fighting like over 20 years, taekwondo, kickboxing, now boxing. I really love to train hard. I really love to develop myself, to develop my skills, and I'm looking for the great event to show up my skills.
What do you have to beat Terry Harper? I mean, that's a difficult question because she's pretty much done everything in the sport. But there are times where she's not had a great night, I guess. Are you hoping that will be one of them? It's in front of her fans. There's a bit of pressure there.
I think she has more pressure than me. From me, no one expects anything, so I can go like relaxed in the fight. But what I want to say, boxing is a really lovely sport. You never know what will happen.
Exciting, like it, Natalie. How much do you know about Terry Harper? How much have you watched her in her career?
For me, it will be a huge, big step, you know. So I really pretty proud and thankful.
Well, undefeated and ready to go. Dreams come true, Terry. You've got a dream to defend that title, but it's great to see this in boxing, isn't it? An undefeated fighter coming in and having her chance at the top table.
Yeah, definitely. I know. I've been there before, and that's the prize, and that opens up many doors once you get your hands on that belt. So obviously an undefeated fighter coming in, she's got it all to gain and nothing to lose really. And like she said, the pressure is on me. I've got to go out there and put on a performance in front of my home crowd, and I need a good win to then go on to fight for the other belts in this weight division. So yeah, again, I'm going to just take it under my wing as I usually would, and train hard for this fight. And I'm just excited to get out there, get a good performance, and yeah, see what else comes after.
Terry, let's talk a bit about if you get past May 23rd. I know a true professional you're not going to look past that. Where do you go then? Where do you go next? Them names that have been called you out, do they get the opportunity? Do you go out looking for them yourself?
Yeah, we want the biggest fights. And for me, the only things left to do is to become a unified world champion and hopefully go on to become undisputed. And that's when I really can probably pat myself on the back and say, well done. So, again, this is a stepping stone, but not overlooking the fight. It's a big fight and it's a must-win, and I'm excited to go out there in front of the home crowd and put on a good performance.
So it's not enough to be a 3-weight world champion and a legend from Yorkshire and Britain. It's not enough.
No, it's not enough. We're always. Well, I'm my biggest critique, so I always want to do better and be better. So I think, like I said, once I become a unified world champion, that's when I can give myself a pat on the back.
I remember the fish and chip shop. You are a fantastic advocate for this sport, and it's brilliant to see you defending your title. Natalie, a last word from you about what we're going to see on May the 23rd.
I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward, and I want that everybody's be there to watch.
Natalie, so do I.
So watch the great show, the great fighters. I am pretty sure it will be a great fight, and I promise you I will give my best, and we will see.
Bring a few of your friends from Germany.
I will do.
Good.
So I need 1,000 tickets.
1,000 tickets,
Yes.
okay. Well,
Can we just talk to our ticketing team? 1,000 allocated here for Natalie. Thank you very much.
1,000 tickets for Natalie. It's coming with dreams, aspirations. It's wonderful to have you. Very well spoken. Terry, let's leave the last word to you, I guess. What are we going to see May the 23rd, and how are you going to keep those emotions in check?
For me, it's going to be a statement win that's going to be sent out into the lightweight division. And again, I'm going to make sure I really be present, be in the moment, enjoy the opportunity that I've been given, and put on a great performance for the people of Doncaster.
A statement from Terry Harper, and Izzy, just finally from you, a statement here, just as I say, looking around me, Stevie Levy's there, we've got Hughie and Peter, Dave Allen, it's brilliant, Sonny, Dave Colwell, Jamie McDonald, 12 odd years on from winning his world title here. It's fantastic. Have you got to pinch yourself that today's happening?
I've had this pinch myself moments regular on 3 years, but this is one of them moments I think, wow, even as much as I like giving it the large one, this is one of them I look back and think, wow, we really have achieved, we've got somewhere. And it's a credit to the team because we really have worked hard to get this card. It's not been easy, some big events, a big step up for us as a promotion outfit, but we believe we can deliver. We believe we belong there as a top promotion outfits in the country. And May 23rd, you're going to see why we believe in ourselves. We're going to put a real showcase event on. I keep saying event because it's not just 12 great boxing fights, 5 title fights, 10 belts online. It's going to be an event people of Doncaster will remember.
You say 12, we've had 5 up here today. What other treats have we got in store?
When you've got a card of this magnitude, I want to make sure the undercard's packed with opportunities, prospects, fighters out there who want to showcase their skill on the zone in a big stadium. We'll give them that opportunity. We've got to work hard in getting the right fights on, but my phone's been inundated with people wanting to be on this card. We'll pick the right card to make sure they can showcase their skill, but it's going to be an historic event, really is, Adam. One, personally, it's going to be massively historic. My grandfather come to Doncaster in 1969 when he first flew over for Pakistan, so it's a massive kind of testament for my family where we've come from. But the fans of Doncaster, fans of Yorkshire, this is one of them events. You've got to be there, and if you're not there, you kick yourself. Why weren't we there when Terry Harper defended the title? It's going to be a special night for me, promotion out from a team and everybody out there.
And I would say to those young prospects like Taz Nadeem out there, get your golden ticket to try and get on this card, because I think it's going to be a very, very special one. Don't forget as well, on the 4th of April at York Hall, GBM has a fantastic lineup there. Topped, of course, with Shaqan Pitters' European title fight. Really good card. But this is a serious statement. May 23rd in Doncaster at the Eco Power Stadium. Get your tickets live on DAZN Friday night. It should be a lot of fun. Terry Harper, Natalie Zimmermann topping the card for the World Lightweight title. They will pose for a head-to-head. And remember, everybody on the pitch afterwards for photos and football. Thank you very much and have a great afternoon.
GBM's first stadium show. It's setting fit for a world title, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is. Outdoor stadium, local. Terry Harper's, she's earned the right. She's earned the right to go out there and walk out with a belt, with a world title belt. in a hometown and you know, to a football stadium, a baying crowd. It'll be fantastic. A great atmosphere.
Adam, you were up there at the top table. You spoke to Zimmermann, you spoke to Harper. What vibes were you getting from them?
I think it's wonderful, firstly, for Natalie Zimmermann, an opportunity. She is a former kickboxer. She's done taekwondo. I think she's got her own business, looking after personal training of athletes. And what a chance. Her dream was to be live on DAZN in this sort of a fight. She probably never thought that she'd be at a stadium show. I think it's brilliant to have her here. She spoke beautifully, I thought. Terry Harper, I know, like Dave, I've got a massive soft spot for. She's been incredible for the sport. Even when she's got knocked down, she's got up. She's a true fighter, lovely, lovely lady, and I'm really, really pleased that she's topping such a huge show.
And we have to talk about pressure as well, naturally, and there's going to be massive pressure on Terry Harper. Let's not underestimate that. Do you think she's the type of personality to rise to the occasion?
Absolutely. I think Terry is, we're just joking actually, she's 28 actually, she's not that old as a fighter. It's incredible that she's packed it all in. I mean, a few years ago when she was in the garden in that draw with Tasha Jonas, and she's been at the top level for a long, long time, but there's no signs of any decay, any slipping at all. Winning that world lightweight title just a few weeks ago, and she's holding it properly. She looks in amazing shape already. Yeah, I don't think there's any problems with pressure. I think she'll lap it up. I think she'll love to perform here.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it yourself. She's earned the right. It's not like she's been plucked, you know, from low-level fights and she's been thrown in at the deep end. She's earned the right. She's had real fights. She's fought real fighters consistently, consecutively. You know, she's got a bucket loads of experience. So the nice box to tick is boxing in your hometown in a football stadium with all that crowd there, kind of coming to pay you respect for what a great career you've had. It's not the end of her career. She, like you said, she's only 28. But it's nice for her to tick that box now at this stage of her career.
And the pre-sale sign-up is now open. We need to make that clear. Izzy made a point to say how quickly these tickets are going to go. You can sign up to the pre-sale now. The pre-sale actually goes live on Friday. And talking about the pre-sale, the tickets that are going to go, a world title's on the line. You've been with GBM for a while now. This is a statement from a promotion that's only just over 2 years old.
Very much so. Dave and I are very much friends of GBM. We like what Izzy has done with you and Mitch, the whole team. It's a great outfit, and you know, from a sort of standing start where Izzy and Huss and Mitch were putting out the chairs, and I think it's great. You know, Dave knows how hard it is. He's had every hat on in the business, and you know, Izzy's got that infectious sort of enthusiasm, that charisma that you just love, and he loves to hang out with Eddie and Frank, and he sort of feels like he belongs at that big table, and he's doing everything to get there, and step by step. GBM are going to move forward this year, you know, live on DAZN. It's a great partnership, being under that one umbrella, having that collaboration with Matchroom to get a world title shot on, and Terry Harper. I think it's fantastic, and you know, the world's his oyster, so it is a statement. It's a big statement, but you know, Izzy's got to keep going and rolling out the shows, because you're only as good as your last show, and let's be honest, it wasn't good the last show. There was a lot of problems with it, and these things happen in boxing, so it's about bouncing back a bit like Terry Harper has. A great show at York Hall on April the 4th, and a cracker here on May 23rd. So yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I think every promoter will tell you there's always shows where you've got this amazing card and then it gets whittled away, fighters get ill, life happens, life gets in the way. But those that bounce back with something big are the ones that you take note of, and GBM couldn't have come with a bigger show. It's straight away the next show is a stadium show with world title fights. And the most important thing is not just about the title fight. If you look at the guys that are up there, there's some real 50-50 fights. You know, I'm excited for the show. So it's not a case of fans are going to be staying in the bar and waiting until Terry comes out. Everyone needs to get the seats, because the main fights that we've heard of from today are cracking. Then you're going to think about which of the prospects is he going to put on. For me, he's got to put Ed Hardy on, he's got to put Taz Nadeem on. You put those two on, two prospects there. I'm just saying. Just me, I'm just saying.
The prospects.
You've got a stacked card. It's an unbelievable, like, follow-on from the last show. In terms of prospects, Ed Hardy, Taz Nadeem, you've got to put those two on. A stadium show, for me, an outdoor stadium show with that crowd, that exposure, that experience for those fighters, I think those two need to be on there, because your card that you've announced today is outstanding. You've got a world title fight But I'm just saying to Adam, and it's not about just the main event. You can't be in the bar because the fights underneath are fantastic.
Can I just add that, Dave, as well, though, because the maestro from DAZN, Mike Ridout, is a big Taz Nadeem fan, and of course our bromance Ed Hardy and I, we've got to have those two on. Terry's joined us. What a day for you, this press conference. What a night it's going to be on May the 23rd. It's what dreams are made of. Natalie's saying it's her dream come true. It's yours too.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said up there, it's such a special night that I need to be really in the moment, and it doesn't happen every time, so I need to really appreciate the opportunity I've been given, and like I said, just really soak it all up. But then again, remembering there's a job to be done, and that a good performance on May 23rd is going to open up many doors and lead to big fights, so I'm excited.
Absolutely, and Izzy, I'm going to bring you in here. I spoke to Izzy around Christmas time talking about the year ahead. The next 2-3 years we might get a world title fight on a GBM show. You laughed at me and you said 2-3 years the next show's going to be a world title fight. Do you remember that conversation?
Absolutely remember. I've been saying it for a while, whether you call it manifestation or energy. I said we'll have a stadium fight. I said we'll have a world title. Did I know it's going to be Terry Harper? No. Am I glad? Extremely glad. I'm not just promoting Terry. I've watched Terry for years and years, and a massive fan of how she kind of presents herself, how she carries herself as a true professional, and achieved massive. Even after the lows, you've come back, kept the professionalism, and to have a top of the bill on a great card. And I know Dave mentioned earlier on about the undercard. That's to come. We can't give too much away. We've got to treat your fans slowly. You've had the top 5, and eventually you will see the undercard. But it's just great to have Terry on top of the card, defending the world title, giving the fans a chance to come and support, give it a kind of, not farewell, but like appreciation for travelling the world and coming to our doorstep.
That's what we're saying earlier on to Adam. You've had an amazing career, you've achieved so much, but the icing on the cake, and he's still only 28, so it's not like it's the end, but the icing on the cake really is to box in your hometown in a football stadium, where once you go to a football stadium, it's mainstream. It's not just boxing fans that have followed your career all the way through. It reaches out to the mainstream, so because people don't want to miss the event. It's like a lot of people just come because it's something don't want to miss this. I want to be there. So you're crossing that. I've had a bit of experience with that, with Bellew walking out fighting for a world title at Goodison. And one thing that we'll always say is it's different. You know, a little bit. It is different in terms of you will never have another feeling like it. So you've got to enjoy it. It's easy for people around to say, ignore this. I did say to Bellew, I said, listen, you can't let the crowd get into you, blah, blah, blah. And then I remember when we walked out the tunnel, and then you come out and you see the opening, you see the fans, I just looked at his face and thought, oh my God. And there's a picture where my back's to the camera, I'm talking to him. And I just said to him, I said, listen, enjoy the ring walk, but switch on when you get in, but don't get carried away with it. And I think that's the main thing. You're human, so you are going to enjoy that ring walk, and you don't have to keep yourself to yourself and ignore it, because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, do you know what I mean? And when you get in the ring, then you switch on and it's game time.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like for every fighter, it's their dream to headline a home stadium, so I'm very grateful that I've been given the opportunity, and people working tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure it happens, and I am very grateful for that. And yeah, I'm just excited to get out there now, and I obviously got 12 weeks to go, and it's strange doing a press conference so far away from a fight, but it just makes it real. It gets that fire burning, and I know I've got a very important job to do and put on a great performance for everyone who's been there throughout my career, through the highs and the lows, and it's just a privilege to be able to bring boxing back to Doncaster. Obviously, I've headlined at the Sheffield Cannon Hall, but I'd say that were by default due to the injuries and the pull-outs and stuff. But again, that were a special night. But the fact that I get to do it now in my hometown is definitely a box ticked.
And I think I do want to end it with, because we do have to let you go, we've got two very special guests replacing you. But Izzy and Terry, tell me the pressure of this massive stage, the stadium, for both a promoter and a fighter.
Yeah, I just got goosebumps listening to Dave there talking about Tony Bellew coming. I just can envision this, and I could just feel the night. Yeah, there's pressures, but this is what we do the game for. This is what I'm here for, a promoter. I want these big nights. I want these memorable nights. I want these historic nights. And that's what Terry's kind of helped us do together. Terry being on the card, and it's what I live for. This is what I've been in the game for. It's a tough business, Alex. This really is. And nights like these bring you back why you put so much hours of non-stop work, tireless hours, non-stop working, 24 hours around the clock. It never stops. And nights like these are kind of where you sit back and think, wow, this is what I'm in for. And I've got goosebumps talking about it, because this is one special night, just not for myself, but not for you, Terry, but the whole area. It's a historic night for Doncaster and the people around the surrounding area.
Yeah, same for me. The pressure's on, obviously. As headline, you got to go out there and put on a great performance for the crowd, but the undercard is amazing, and some great fights lined up there. And there's just a buzz and an amazing atmosphere around Doncaster itself. So excited to get the show on the road.
Can I just ask one more thing to Izzy, because Terry was part of the whole development, a pioneer of women's boxing, which has come so far, and we've got some fantastic women's fights on May the 23rd. You know, you've got Tysie Gallagher against Ebonie Jones, you've got Terry headlining the bill. It means a lot to you, doesn't it, to have the females on? It's a fantastic time for women's boxing.
Of course, I always said the females are always flying the flag strong, and Terry's been the one advocate of leading it. And I think it's important, important to spread the sport across the ring. And you've seen some of the best fights in the world that happen with the females, and I think we've got two quality operators in Terry Harper, and I believe a future world champion in Tysie Gallagher, but she's got a tough fight against Ebonie Jones. And I'm going to put you on the spot here, Terry. Who are you calling for that fight? Tysie Gallagher, Ebonie Jones?
How do you do that? Yeah, you can't do that. Honestly, credit to both fighters, and it's an amazing opportunity for them both, and I wish them both well and all the best for camp, obviously, and just go out there and put on a great show for us female fighters.
Yep. Guys, thank you very much. I think you've got to get your boots and shin pads on now. You are wanted out on the pitch. Izzy, are you going to go and goal?
I'm going to support Terry here, that's it. I'm going to make sure she does a good job.
Football was my first sport, so,
Like to see it. Okay, so we're going to bring in Peter and Hughie onto the broadcast. Peter Fury, who is the father and trainer of Hughie Fury, they're both here today. Terry Harper seems very confident, Dave.
Yeah, she's going to be, yeah. It's a big moment, so she's got to be confident.
Peter, Hughie, how are you doing? Good. Peter, you've been with Izzy since the start, really. He's told you about the journey from day one to where we are now. How impressed are you with what you've seen at a stadium show so early on?
Well, with this event, it's going to be amazing, isn't it? What can you say? For 2 years, to get from where he's gone to this, it's spectacular. World title fight, big stadium in Doncaster. It doesn't get any better for GBM, does it?
And Hughie, we announced you recently as our latest signing. Coming to days like this, seeing how big GBM's getting must get you excited.
Yeah, it gets me very excited. I've been on 2 of these events before, and that's why I signed with Izzy. He's going to get me active, and his events are amazing.
Dave, would you like to see Hughie on this bill?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I think Hughie deserves a big fight, a good fight. I mean, I didn't realise that Dave Allen had got to him, and I saw you both kind of like sat together. I was like, and I said to him, I went, we need to make that fight on here. That'd be fantastic. But I mean, I just want to see him get the big fights now, because he's served his apprenticeship. You got to remember, way back, he fought Josie Parker, and did a job, So he's got his experience now. Like you're saying, activity. It seems as though you're getting a good run of activity going over the last year or so. So let's get the big fights for him.
Well, we spoke about activity. I know April, we've got you going out there really to get your feelings back in the ring. But by the end of this year, who are you wanting? What level are you wanting to be fighting at?
I want to be fighting in the top 10. So whoever there is, I want these fights. Like you said, it's hard to get the fights, but Izzy's promised me big fights, and that's what I want to do. I want to get the ball moving.
And you told me about Peter. He'll tell you if you've had a good spar, a bad spar. Peter, what do you want for Hughie this year?
He needs to be in the big fights, just like Dave said. We need him in the big fights. He's got to run out on April the 4th in London. And after that, we're looking to Izzy to make a big fight, whoever's there.
And I don't think I'd be doing my job if I wasn't asked to press you a little bit on that. If you can give us a couple of names, maybe people who you've not necessarily had discussions about, but people who you want Hughie to fight.
I don't think it matters. It depends who's going to be available, how much do you want. That's not my job. I'm not matchmaking the fights. My job is to get him ready. He's ready to fight anybody. So that's the bottom line here. And he's got to be active. So
And I think the good thing, I was just looking at this table here. You've got a fighter from Matchroom boxing on here. You've got a fighter from Queensbury boxing on here. So obviously they're all under the same TV network. So that opens the door to having being able to get good relationships and being able to make the fights that you want from other promoters. Whereas before we've had times where he's with him, and they're all staying in-house. Now they're all working interchanging like that. We've got more chance of getting the big fights made now.
And we spoke about that when I came down to visit you in Congleton. Hughie really needs to go on that next step, show off everything he's been working on. What's changed with Hughie? Let's even go back so far as the Joseph Parker fight. What is the difference in Hughie that we'll see this year?
Well, when he fought Joseph Parker, he was like only very young, 22 or whatever. So they've come a long way. Don't forget, he's 30 years of age. You know, although he's had problems outside the gym, he's been constantly in the gym, sparring and whatnot. So he's an established world-level professional heavyweight. So that's the difference. It's over time. You know, when you've got that experience over time, you know, doing less is doing more. And that comes over time. It comes with experience, in and out the ring, day in, day out, year in, year out. You know, he's grown into the sport, and you know, and now he needs to shine as well. I want to see him produce what he does in the gym, on the big screen. So that's what we want. That's what he needs to get these big fights, is to get people behind him, people saying, well, look, long time it's been coming, but look, this kid can fight. That's what will get him the fight. So he's got to perform and he's got to shine as well.
How will you remind everyone that you are a real threat in the heavyweight division?
Actions. Listen, enough talking's cheap. It's about putting it in the ring now, and I believe this is my time.
That's great. And Hughie, Peter, thank you very much for joining us, and Dave. This has been the broadcast, the launch for GBM's historical event, our stadium show in Doncaster. Thank you.